Evan had never seen an animal behave this way before. And it wasn't just any animal, it was a lynx. Its sleek, muscular body moved with silent grace, and its piercing yellow eyes seemed to be studying him. For weeks, this mysterious lynx appeared near his house, watching him intently before vanishing back into the forest. Evan's family had recently moved to this new home on the edge of the woods, drawn by the serenity and closeness to nature. But this recurring visitor felt out of place, almost like a sign that something unexpected was about to unfold. The move had been Evan's dream come true. He had always wanted to raise his children in the heart of nature, where they could explore the wild and learn the rhythm of the earth firsthand. His wife Claire had been more hesitant, but she eventually agreed after seeing how happy it made. Evan and the kids, at first, everything felt perfect. Children ran through open fields, picked wildflowers, and splashed in the nearby streams. It was an ideal new beginning until the lynx kept coming back. One morning, Evan was jolted awake by the excited voices of his children. They rushed him to the large living room window, eyes wide with wonder. "Dad, look!" they gasped. Outside, standing just beyond the tree line, was the lynx. Its tufted ears twitched as if it were listening, and its golden eyes were fixed directly on Evan. Locals had told him lynxes occasionally wandered near houses, but to see one this close, this often, was rare. The children were mesmerized. Evan, curious but cautious, reassured them. "We can watch from here. The glass is reinforced we're safe," he said, masking his own unease. But this lynx wasn't behaving like a typical wild animal. And it didn't just watch, it seemed to communicate. It would stare at Evan, then turn and slowly walk toward the woods, only to stop and glance back as if it were waiting for him. Evan tried to dismiss it as coincidence, yet something in him stirred. A whisper of instinct told him there was more to this lynx than he wanted to admit. Claire wasn't thrilled. "This isn't normal," she said, her voice edged with worry. "We have kids to think about, Evan. What if it's dangerous?" "I don't think it's a threat," Evan replied. "Gently, it's just ... curious." Still, after several more sightings, Evan couldn't shake the feeling that the lynx wanted something from him. One misty morning, when the lynx appeared again at the forest's edge, Evan made a decision. Leaving a note for Claire, he stepped outside, his heart thumping. The lynx locked eyes with him, then turned and padded silently into the woods. "What?" followed. He kept a cautious distance, his boots crunching softly on the forest floor. The lynx occasionally paused, glancing back to make sure he was still there, then continued deeper into the trees. Soon, Evan realized he was in unfamiliar territory. Towering pines arched overhead, their canopy filtering sunlight into gentle golden beams. Wildflowers carpeted the ground, glowing like tiny lanterns in the filtered light. After nearly an hour, the lynx led him to a dense thicket he'd never seen before. The lynx circled a small clearing, agitated, sniffing, pacing, searching. Evan hesitated. Strange unease settled in his chest. Then the lynx froze, ears pricking up in the distance, rustling leaves. And then, ... a faint cry. Before Evan could react, the lynx bolted toward the sound. Without thinking, Evan followed, ducking through brambles and low branches. Eventually they emerged into a secluded clearing where an old weathered cabin stood. It belonged to Evan's only neighbor, a reclusive man named Walter, who lived deep in the woods. They had spoken only a few times. The cabin looked quiet, but then a sudden bang echoed from inside. Followed by Walter's panicked voice, the lynx darted to the door, scratching and growling low in its throat. Evan ran to the door and banged. "On it, Walter. Are you okay?" The door creaked open. Walter stood there, pale and rattled. "What's going on?" Evan asked, breathless. Walter pointed to the back room. On the floor lay a smaller lynx, a cub gasping for air. The adult lynx rushed past them, nuzzling the cub. "She's the mother," Evan whispered in awe. Walter explained in a shaken voice. "I found the little one alone in the woods, badly hurt. I thought it was abandoned. I brought it here to try and help. I was going to call wildlife services. Suddenly everything made sense." The mother lynx hadn't been stalking Evan. She had been searching for help. She'd seen his family. As her only hope, with Walter's help, Evan contacted a local wildlife rescue team. They arrived quickly, assessed the cub's condition, and transported both lynxes to a nearby rehabilitation center. In the days that followed, Evan and his family waited anxiously for news. The cub had been suffering from severe dehydration and minor injuries, but it was slowly recovering. The mother lynx stayed by her side the entire time, never once leaving. Weeks later, Evan received the update he'd been hoping for. The cub had made a full recovery. Both lynxes were released into a protected wilderness area, far from human disturbance. It was a bittersweet goodbye. Evan felt relief but also a strange emptiness, as if saying farewell to an old friend. In the months that followed, the sightings grew rare. But sometimes, just before sunset, Evan would catch a glimpse of the mother lynx with her, now nearly grown cub, moving through the shadows of the trees. They no longer came close. But when their eyes met, Evan knew they remembered him. There was a bond now unspoken, unbroken. Looking back, Evan realized nature had offered his family a gift far deeper than just a home in the forest. It had shown them the fierce love of a mother, the silent trust between two species, the extraordinary connection that can form when we choose to care. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who believes in the magic of nature, and don't forget to subscribe to Pawthos, where every story reveals the hidden soul of the wild's life. Subscribe to Pawthos, where wildlife speaks. We listen.